Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Secretary DeVos. Thank you for being here. I am very concerned about the repeated requests to eliminate the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which again is in the budget this year. I am even more concerned about the department's mismanagement of the program, about which I and others in the Senate have written you several times. As you know, the program was created in 2008, and it commits to participants that if they work for 10 years in public service, if they stay current on their student loan payments, the remainder of their debt will be forgiven. But under your administration of that program, 99% of borrowers have had this promised debt relief denied. Again, this denial comes after they have already participated in the program for many years and made serious career and life decisions based on the promise that they would get relief. And I just want to share a message that I received from a constituent, Regan, who is a social worker in Claremont, New Hampshire, about this program. She wrote to me, and I'm reading from her message. I wanted to email you regarding the loan forgiveness program. I've learned that this program may go away or is on the chopping block. Several years ago, I went to school to get my master's in social work in an effort to do more for my community. I graduated with a master's in social work in 2008 and have been paying ever since. I eventually entered the loan forgiveness program, and as of right now, I believe I have 5 years left, as long as I continue to meet the requirements. In 2015, I was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis. I thought I was seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, that perhaps in 5 years my loan would be forgiven. Without the loan forgiveness program, I will surely be working to pay this loan off until I'm dead. I'm asking that every effort be made to maintain this program. To me, this is huge, especially with my medical condition. So, Madam Secretary, how do you answer Regan from Claremont?
Well, I assume she's applied for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program and is probably in process making her payments.
She says that in her message.
Our proposal is to sunset the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. The administration feels that incentivizing one type of work and one type of job over another is not called for. And we have a demand in our, over 7 million jobs going unfilled today. And favoring one type of pursuit over another type of pursuit philosophically doesn't line up with where we are.
But, Madam Secretary,
but just to be clear, on the existing program, our commitment is to ensure that those who are part of the program today and who meet the qualifications. Now, you all made it a very difficult program to qualify for. And, 10
But it didn't seem to be so difficult under the previous administration.
Well, it
it's
wasn't
under your administration that 99% of the applicants have been denied, and so I guess that's what I'm trying to understand.
I have to point out that under the previous administration, no student qualified because it's a 10-year program.
10-year program, I understand.
So we have just come into the time period that even those in the earliest end of the program who have done all of the requirements are coming due for consideration.
So do you have recommendations for Congress on what we should do to make it better,
we do
short of eliminating it? Because I guess I would disagree with your comment about we don't have reason to incentivize work in certain areas. In rural New Hampshire, we can't get social workers. We can't get healthcare workers. We can't get so many of the people that we need in order to maintain our communities and keep people there and keep them healthy and having opportunities. So having incentives to attract them is something that's really important, especially in a time when our unemployment rate is one of the lowest in the country. So I want people to get the best jobs that they can, paying the most that they can. But if they want a job that is going to help a community, that's going to help the state of New Hampshire, that's going to help the country, and we can incentivize them to do that, then I think that's in the public interest. So I would fundamentally disagree with your thinking about this and the administration's thinking about this. I just think it's short-sighted in terms of what we need in our economy.
Well, I appreciate that, but how do you tell a nurse that works in a privately owned hospital that her work is no less important than a nurse that works in a not-for-profit hospital?
because there are incentives in the private sector that can help attract people that in the public sector we often don't have. And that's the benefit of having this program. In the state of New Hampshire, when I was governor, we had significant challenges getting rural healthcare workers because they just couldn't come. We couldn't afford to pay them. Our rural hospitals couldn't afford to pay them what they needed. And so we had people who had unmet needs because of that. So we set up a state incentive program to try and benefit them. But we didn't have the funding to do everything we needed to do, and that's why this kind of program is so important. And to say that 99% of the people who have applied are going to be rejected is just not acceptable. If there's a fix that Congress needs to do for that, then I hope you will let us know that so we can do it. But to just say, this is a program that suddenly the department has decided we're going to reject because even though Congress passed it, is not the direction that I think we should be going in.
No, ma'am,
I'm out of time,
that's
Mr.
not fair to
Chairman.
say. The reality is that most of those individuals have not yet qualified. And so there are suggestions that we can and would make at your invitation to improve the existing program. And we still would appeal going forward that the program be ended and that those in the program currently be allowed to process through. But we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of need in terms of careers and employment in our country.